It is 8 o'clock this morning in Washington, where just yesterday everyone was reading the Mueller report. There were parts of it that were redacted. And one day after the release of the special counsel's report, reactions are still pouring in. For more on that, we go to CBS 2's Christine Frizzell. She's on Capitol Hill.
Good morning. A surreal day here on Capitol Hill with members of Congress on recess, but many working overtime behind the scenes following the release of this much anticipated report.
The facts that are now established by this report are damning.
One report, two very different takes.
Really the best day since he got elected.
Attorney General William Barr making the case Thursday morning the report cleared President Trump.
After nearly 2 years of investigation, thousands of subpoenas, hundreds of warrants, and witness interviews, the special counsel confirmed that the Russian government sponsored efforts to illegally interfere with the 2016 presidential election, but did not find that the Trump campaign or other Americans colluded in those efforts.
Democrats reacting swiftly, asking to see more of the report and for special counsel Mueller to testify publicly.
The special counsel made clear that he did not exonerate the president, and the responsibility now falls to Congress to hold the president accountable for his actions.
Meanwhile, some Republican lawmakers saying these conclusions show the investigation never should have taken place and hope a new one will reveal if there was politics at play.
We need to make sure that we get to the bottom of it so it doesn't happen to a future president and so that we don't end up with another 2-year investigation that leads nowhere.
But Mueller's report paints a picture of a nervous and uncooperative president who, according to notes, upon learning of the special counsel appointment, the president slumped back in his chair and said, "Oh my God, this is terrible. This is the end of my presidency. I'm expletive." As for obstruction, Mueller indicated the president tried but failed, saying, quote, "The president's efforts to influence the investigation were mostly unsuccessful, but that is largely because of the persons who surrounded the president declined to carry out orders or accede to his requests." Well, just in case you're thinking, okay, we're now done with the investigations, you would be wrong. Much of the material contained in this report actually is giving Democrats new fodder to continue their investigations into the president and new reasons for Republicans to say they need more of their own. Reporting from Capitol Hill, I'm Christine Frizzell. Back to you.
Once again, parts of Mueller's report are redacted. The Attorney General told members of Congress he would make as much of the report public as possible, but would redact sections based on 4 criteria. Those are grand jury information, classified information, material about ongoing investigations, and material affecting peripheral third parties. Now, the Attorney General emphasized he was not involved in redactions. They were made by Justice Department attorneys, investigators from the Mueller team, and representatives of the intelligence community. Idaho's congressional delegation is responding to the report's release. Senator Mike Crapo says, quote, "Special counsel Robert Mueller's thorough 2-year investigation included more than 500 search warrants, 2,800 subpoenas, 40 Federal Bureau of Investigation agents, and 500 witnesses. Since no credible evidence supports charges of collusion or conspiracy with the Kremlin, I'm ready to move on from this drawn-out attack on the president." Senator Jim Risch wrote, quote, "For me, there was no news in Mueller's report. We have reviewed thousands of documents, including dozens of witness statements throughout the Senate Intelligence Committee's investigation, and I reached the same conclusion as Mueller. President Trump did not collude with the Russians." Here's more from Representative Mike Simpson, quote, "The release of Mueller's report marks the final day in a process that has dominated national discourse for 2 years. At last, the American people can know without a shadow of a doubt that the Trump campaign did not collude with foreign governments." Earlier, Representative Russ Fulcher called in live to CBS 2.
It really is time to move forward because we have wasted a tremendous amount of time, effort, money, and taken some good people away from their jobs in order to investigate this way too long.